Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope everyone's doing absolutely great. Today I'm back and today I'm here to talk about a very interesting topic. This topic would be really relevant to anyone who's in marketing. If you're a marketing manager, an exec, or anybody who's interested in marketing, this would really be helpful. And the topic is consumer behavior trends. Now, as a marketer, it's very important to understand consumer behavior and the ever changing consumer behavior. It's the behavior today's consumers, they are very different from what we had before, because we have so many options. As a consumer, I have so many options, and as a marketer, it's very difficult for me to strategize and have a tailored approach, because every consumer is different and every consumer's taste is different, and the traditional way of like how people used to market, right, based on segmentation, targeting, positioning, that doesn't work anymore. Okay, that does not work, and that's the reality, because consumers today are like chameleons. They are very different, they keep changing. Because you have so many options, you just move, there's no loyalty there. So it's very important to understand that, and understand that there has been a disruption here, a disruption in consumer behavior. So it's very important as marketers to move above and beyond the traditional way of like segmenting people based on demography, gender, all of that does not work anymore. So it's very important for us to understand consumer trends, consumer behavior. So today I'll very briefly talk about the changing consumer behavior, what to focus on, and how our approach should be while designing our marketing strategy and activations. How should we like approach it based on consumer behavior trends? Hope that makes sense. So let's get started. Now, as I mentioned, the postmodern consumer, he has so many like options. There's so many variety in the market, and so it's very hard to like sort of like put them in one basket, like put them in a certain category. You cannot, because the people's taste and their opinions and their options are changing these days. Okay, consumers buy horizontally. Now, we marketers, we like strategize vertically, but then consumers buy horizontally. Now, what does that mean? That means consumers, they, it's always like related. When they buy one product from one category, they always also relate it to some other product in a different category. So we need to kind of understand where it all starts. So there is a constellation approach here. Say for example, like someone's going to clubbing. Okay, if you're a girl and you're going clubbing, there would be a certain perfume you would want to wear when you go like clubbing, because you want to like smell a certain way, you want to smell really nice. Say you're like going to use like Chanel or a Victoria's Secrets perfume when you're going clubbing, and then you want to wear like a certain kind of clothes, certain labels which you want to wear, or certain kind of clothes, maybe like a body like a one piece dress, or maybe like a Gucci sandal or a Kate Spade sandals. The certain way you want to represent yourself when you go clubbing, because you want to look like glam and chic and all of that. So we need to understand this very carefully, because we need to understand that my consumer is also going to these places. They're purchasing these kind of garments. They're going to while they go clubbing, they're going to like wear certain clothes, certain brands. So here it's very important to do cross brand promotions, so that it's very important that you know where your consumer is going and target those places as well. Maybe partner with them and kind of like promote your brand there, so that way you're like not missing out any touch point. Okay, for example, I work with British American Tobacco. So for me, like for our brand, it's very, we always partner with like clubs or like the big events like McLaren. We have a partnership with them. We partner with like music festivals. because we know that our consumers go there. That's the main place where they go, so it's important to have our presence there, because you do not want to like miss out. So a consumer who probably does a vape would obviously, you find them more going to such events, which are like music festivals, or like bigger like F1 event and stuff like that. So it's important to kind of cater that, and tap those customers, your end consumers as well. Okay, and that's why cross brand promotions is super critical in this case. And we have moved from market segmentation to markets of one. Okay, so earlier you used to like segment people to either okay this or that, it's like a yes or no, there's no like in between, there's no gray side to it. But today it's different, like you cannot like really put one consumer in one bucket. You need to like cater to different things. You need to anticipate what the consumer would want. Like, say for example, Amazon uses like artificial intelligence. They use like algorithms where, based on your past purchase, they can predict your future purchase. So what they've done is, like, before you know what you're going to purchase, like Amazon already knows that you're going to purchase this in the forthcoming days. So they already have like a local warehouse where they have the inventory which they know that you would want to purchase in the next coming days. So it's AI, so you're already catering to it, and you're not like, you anticipate what's going to come and then you cater to it accordingly. You use like, look at consumer behavior, what they're searching for, and then you like cater to it accordingly. Okay, like I said, our consumer today is a chameleon. We change colors, we like easily switch from one thing to another. So it's very important to understand what kind of behavior you can expect, and cater accordingly. Okay, and today's consumers, they don't distinguish between young versus old. Like earlier days, like, you know uh, previously we used to like anybody who is 50 plus or something, we kind of like consider them different, and we have the way we approach that audience, that section of consumers would be very different from what we would like target a 20-year or a 30-year-old. But today, everything has changed, and the world is having a youth centric approach. Like you'll see like 60-50 years old, like they want to dress up like younger, they want to look like nicer. So it's no more like young versus old. Everybody wants to dress up well, everybody wants to be fit. People are going for classes to take fitness, they want to like relax at home. Self-care is more under consideration. So there's no more like, okay, there's no like label like, okay, young people you market this, or because you have like a older set of population who are also equally interested. Like there are a lot of older people like who are in 50s 60s, they are fit and they're dressing up so well, like a 30-year-olds. um so age does not define the marketing strategy. It's like how you feel. Like if I feel like I can be 30 and feel like a 20-year-old, I can be 50 and feel like a 30-year-old. It's just how you feel. And as marketers, we need to like sort of understand that it's how people think, it's how you position it, how you make people feel is what they feel. And they say, right, perception is reality, and that is the truth. So people perceive themselves to be younger, so they want to like get into all of these things which are trendy and which are like which are currently running. Okay, today's consumer, they don't distinguish between male versus female. Like earlier, back in the day, all of these, say for example, all of these beauty, skincare, all of that was like very very gender specific. It was like always for females. You used to see like advertisements where like they're just focusing on fairness for like women, skin whitening, like skincare and all of that. But today, like men's personal care, men's skincare, everything, it's such a huge business. Like the companies who have started off with the men's healthcare, personal care, business, they have earned so much profit because that's like a huge business which wasn't tapped previously. And now, so what I'm trying to say is it's not gender specific, so everyone needs to understand it's also greater penetration, right? So imagine people who were the companies which were like developing beauty products for just women. Now the market size is double, right? So you do men as well, so they earn double the amount whatever they're earning. So I think the consumer behavior has changed, and there's no distinct difference between men, women, male, female. Okay, today's consumer, they don't distinguish between me versus we. Basically, like today's consumers are like, whenever you want to purchase something, it's like you always like ask your immediate social circle and ask their opinion, and they're like, hey, do you think this is nice, I want to purchase this. And then somebody will have a comment to say, somebody will have their own feedback. So you kind of like, you rely, these days consumers rely a lot upon your what others say. Like validation is something which is seen a lot, especially with social media. Like you go and whenever you're buying something, you just don't buy, right? You look at like online reviews, what other people are saying, you look at like 100 videos and see if it's worth buying a certain product. So it's very different. And we need to like cater to that. We need to understand that it's no more like traditional way. Like it's not like you target a person, but people like look at what other people are doing, and then they look for validation. Oh, okay, this is fine, this is something I can purchase, and then they do it. So you need to kind of understand that. Okay, today's consumers, they don't distinguish between online and offline. So when online business started few years back, and then all the offline retailers were like, oh my god, shit, like our business is going to drown, like no one's going to buy anything because everyone's going online. And it did happen for a certain period that most people were purchasing online and not many people were purchasing offline. But then it so happened that people keep shifting. They want both online, they look at like what is available digitally, and then they see go to offline and they purchase, especially when it comes to clothes and electronic appliances and stuff. People like see online, they look at videos and everything, and then they go and purchase it. You want to try the cloth yourself, so people do that. So basically it's like a hybrid. Marketers and companies need to understand that it's a hybrid model. Like people do both online and offline, so it's important to have your presence both. Like it has to be an omni channel present where you have a digital presence, at the same time you have physical stores, and make sure the digital touch points are available in your physical store. Like say for example touch screens, like maybe videos and stuff like that. AI plays a very important role, and just virtual reality, all of this plays a very important role. It's very important for marketers to kind of like make sure that they are present everywhere where their consumer is present. So if your consumer is both online and offline, um, even the shop or the retailer needs to be both online and offline. It's not a nice to be online and offline, it's a must have to be online and offline. It's no more an option. Like it is an option. Like it's no more an option, you need to do it. Basically you need to be present if you want to like get your consumers buying your products. You need to do that. Okay, today's consumers, they do not distinguish between sellers and buyers. So consumer itself have their opinion on a lot of things. Like there's crowdsourcing happening. If you see the brand, I'll give you an example of this brand called Threadless. It's a company which online company which sells like printed t-shirts. Like they print like designs on t-shirts and they sell them. So what they do is they ask their customers online to like do a poll and ask them like what kind of like shirts you would prefer, what kind of designs you would prefer. Based on customers what they prefer, they kind of make those t-shirts. So it's basically catering to what the customers like and building your products accordingly. So that's really cool, because then you also know like your inventory, whatever you have, is going to sell out, because you know that the consumers want that. So it's a very good approach of marketing, wherein you know like where your customer is actually not distinguishing between the seller and the buyer. So he's a part of this um whole game, you know, he's a part of it and he's contributing to it, and he decides as what needs to be sold. Okay, so that's very important to kind of like personalize and cater to your customers. Today's consumers don't distinguish between self versus possessions. Like whatever you possess is nothing but it's a part of yourself, right? Like it depicts your personality. Like for example, me, I love like dressing up well, like but whatever I pick and choose, it is something which would reflect my personality, and it's a part of me, you know. It's not just something which I possess, it's not just something which I have in my closet, it's something which reflects me, it's a part of me. So people, it I don't distinguish it. So if I'm wearing something, it is a part of me, it reflects my personality, it makes me more confident, it makes me more feel better, it makes me more willing to like approach other people, like talk to people and be more confident while talking. So it's about that. So today's consumers don't distinguish that. Okay, today's consumers don't distinguish between reality versus fantasy. Like when they watch like shows or movies or things like that, there's a lot of like real things and a lot of things which are like unrealistic, but today's consumers, they don't realize that. And marketers, they don't really distinguish that when they show it, and consumers think that it's real, you know, it's something which they can have, it's something which they can get, right? And today's consumers, they don't distinguish between humans versus computers. Like for example, like you interact with, like these days when you don't have customer service, a lot of people, companies don't have customer service, so people talk to chatbots, and you have robots, like they cater to our needs, they respond to our complaints or queries or concerns. There's SoftBank in Japan. They have this humanoid, they have this home assistant, where that assistant actually, you can have it in your living room, and it's like on, it's doing very well, where they have that, they sell it to consumers, and that can be in your living room, and that actually identifies your emotions. So based on your body language and based on the way you are, that assistant kind of like will help pacify you when your emotions are high and when you don't feel good a certain way. When you don't feel good and you feel a certain way, it's going to like be your companion and kind of like help you overcome those emotions and make you feel better. So it's like, it's called Pepper and the assistant, and it is like it's become like your companion, right? Like it's obviously it's not a real human, it's computer based, it's tech based, but then it is helping you with your emotions and managing it. So that's why consumers don't distinguish between humans and computers. Okay, today's consumers don't distinguish between work and play. So basically, because of this work from home trend, and even before that, I think people are working from home, and there's so many times there's no separation, because sometimes when you're like doing like a slide presentation, you hear noisy background, maybe a dog barking, or maybe your kids around the house, you know, there's always like, it's all intertwined and it's no more separate. So your working from home has made it like that. So you need to kind of like understand that consumer behavior has changed with that, and cater accordingly. Okay, now the earth shaking trends what are going on at the moment, consumers are eager for diversity. Diversity does not mean that, okay, catering to a culture which you have never tapped, or catering to some other, like a particular set of subcultures. That's not diversity today. Diversity today is more about inclusion, making sure everyone's included, and that is diversity, and consumers are looking for that. They want to feel a part of it, like when I'm with a bunch of other people, I want to be a part of, feel included in that group. So that's what diversity is. An example of that would be the Fenty Foundation, which is a company founded by Rihanna. Now this company is like came up with a foundation which has like 50 shades, sorry, it has 40 shades of different color. So it's so cool because it did not cater to like just a certain set of people who are a certain dark skinned or brown skinned or whatever. It catered to everyone. So it's the whole umbrella of 40 shades. Like you can be of any color, but this company would cater to your need, which is so cool because that's what inclusion and diversity is all about. It's not about targeting one culture which was not focused on, or it's not considered, or not being taken care of. It's making everybody feel like in one group, and that's very important. Customers are eager for personalization. It's difficult to personalize individually, so mass personalization is very important these days. People are looking at that, especially like when you, for example, when you buy clothes, there are things for, like for curvy women, like when you click on it, like it's personalized but it's curvy, so you have like a set of clothes for them. If you are like certain size, certain if you have certain length of socks, if you're looking for stockings, you have like full length, knee length, ankle length. So everything, it's very catered. It's like mass personalization is what customers look for these days. Customers are looking for simplification. Too many complex things, people don't like it. Like Samsung, if you go to a Samsung electronics store, you'll have like so many gadgets which are different, but some are so complex, and people are like, they're so cool, but people are not buying it. And why is that? Because people go for simplicity, something which is easy to understand, which is convenient. Nobody wants to like spend a lot of time doing a lot of things, so convenience is very important. So simplification, anything simply put, people will love it because it's very straightforward. Consumers are eager for sustainability. Now sustainability is very important. Now these days everyone's very concerned about planet earth, about climate change, global warming, and all of that. It's become a huge concern, and every company is working towards that, and everyone wants to be associated with a company which works on sustainability, like recycling things, not using plastic. Like in BAT we do a lot of things, lot of initiatives for sustainability. So it's very important that you do that, because consumers can relate to it. They can feel like, okay, you're doing something for the environment and it matches with their core values. So that's very important. Now these are some points about consumer trends. It's very important, like I said, today you cannot cage consumer, like put them in one cage, like these set of consumers, then put them in another one. It does not work like that. There is nothing as segmentation. As such, there's no segmentation. You need to understand different consumer behavior, the trends happening in the market, and then you need to like have your marketing strategy and activations accordingly. Okay, so this was my video. If you have any questions on consumer trends, or what kind of things you can do, please ask me. Let me know what do you think of the video. If you have any questions, let me know. And thank you so much for watching my video. Take care, have a good one. Cheers.